Elton John, the iconic artist responsible for over 300 million records sold and timeless hits like Tiny Dancer, is frequently viewed as a unifying figure in the music industry. However, away from the spotlight, a more intense side emerges. Several renowned bands that others might expect him to praise were actually the ones he held in the deepest contempt. This wasn't rooted in envy, but in his conviction that they had betrayed the essence of music, the passion he devoted his life to, and even disrespected him personally. Was it mere competition, or did Elton detect flaws in their work that he found unforgivable? Here, we explore the 6 bands that tested his patience to the limit. Number 1, the Rolling Stones. The longest-standing and most intense rivalry. No band has clashed with Elton John more persistently or fiercely than the Rolling Stones. Their conflict lingered for decades, driven by clashing egos, rivalry, and Elton's view that the Stones had abandoned innovation long ago while continuing to tour. The initial spark ignited in the mid-1970s during a tense backstage encounter at Madison Square Garden. As Mick Jagger pursued side projects, Elton, then at the peak of his solo success, couldn't hold back a sharp remark. Observing Jagger's attire and growing circle of associates, he remarked icily, "Darling, not every performer is suited to going solo. Some are better off staying with their group." Jagger paused, remained silent, and left the room. Later, Keith Richards dismissed Elton as an ostentatious figure who equated sparkle with substance. From that point, Elton voiced increasing irritation over what he saw as the Stones' resistance to change. In a 2011 interview with Rolling Stone magazine, he delivered one of his sharpest public attacks. "They're still playing the role of rock's rebels into their 60s. True rebellion means growth, not repeating the same riffs for half a century." In Elton's eyes, the Stones had become relics acting edgy. To them, Elton was a flamboyant entertainer, confusing spectacle with substance. Tensions rose further as Elton's extravagant 1970s performances garnered more attention than the Stones' minimalist approach. Crew members recalled Jagger fuming for days over reviews that hailed Elton's Madison Square Garden show as making the Stones seem outdated. Elton poured more oil on the fire by commenting, "If they focused more on performing and less on posturing, they might not be overshadowed." Hall. In later years, the rift showed no signs of healing. When questioned about the Stones' 50th anniversary tour, Elton replied, "Endurance alone isn't accomplishment. You need to create something enduring." No public reconciliation occurred from either side, and interest in one seems absent. The animosity endures unchanged. Number 2, the Beatles, the post-breakup era that angered Elton John deeply. His frustration started right after the Beatles disbanded, as their individual albums flooded the market. Elton cherished the group's heritage, but their subsequent output enraged him like few others. He felt they were squandering their iconic reputation. Privately, Elton described their solo efforts as a heartbreaking drop in quality. Paul McCartney's band Wings sparked the strongest reaction. In a 1976 Melody Maker interview, Elton made a statement that shocked even his inner circle. "Seeing a former Beatle produce average material is akin to seeing Michelangelo use a paint-by-numbers kit. It genuinely pains me." This wasn't exaggeration. It reflected genuine sorrow. Elton believed McCartney had shifted from revolutionizing music to dominating soft rock radio. Whenever Wings hit the charts, he allegedly grumbled, "This can't be the same person behind Blackbird." George Harrison also faced criticism. Elton disliked Harrison's emphasis on spiritual themes and Indian instruments, baffled by why reviewers feigned appreciation. After the concert for Bangladesh, he left abruptly and confided in drummer Nigel Olsson. "All that esoteric talk just masks a lack of strong tunes. One more sitar riff and I'll require counseling." The remark circulated back to Harrison, who then distanced Elton from his circle for years. The strongest barbs targeted Ringo Starr. Upon the release of Goodnight Vienna, Elton quipped at a gathering, "Ranking as the 4th best Beatle is comparable to being the 4th shade in a 3-color crayon set." And the room erupted in laughter. Ringo did not. At its heart, the conflict stemmed from letdown. Elton felt that having transformed music once, the Beatles owed the world nothing short of excellence thereafter. A private comment from him in the early 1980s captured it. "A bolt of lightning rarely repeats, but at minimum don't offer an empty container." Though he maintained a close bond with John Lennon, Elton never fully mended ties with the rest. A courteous separation persists, with the original respect replaced by regret over unrealized potential. Number 3. Queen. The unexpected hidden competition. The strain between Elton John and Queen didn't stem from a simple error. It arose from annoyance. Elton resented how Queen combined dramatic flair with rock without remorse. In the mid-1970s, he confided to a recording technician, "They think loudness and outfits can substitute for solid composition. That's not authentic rock, that's entertainment spectacle." The technician noted he'd rarely seen Elton so critical of peers. The turning point arrived when Bohemian Rhapsody displaced Elton's Island Girl at the top of the charts. Rather than feign sportsmanship, Elton vented to his manager John Reid weeks of layering and harmonies. "Attempt it, live in a single pass." It reflected resentment toward the sudden spotlight on Freddie Mercury. Reviewers dubbed Mercury the boldest performer in British rock, which Elton interpreted as direct competition. Their sharpest exchange occurred backstage at Live Aid in 1985. Elton was preparing when Mercury passed by in full regalia, accompanied by aides. Elton remarked loudly to his group within earshot, "There's space for only one queen here today." Mercury overheard, but responded with a calm, extended grin before continuing. Elton appeared outmaneuvered and irritated. Strains intensified through Queen's work with shared contacts, particularly David Bowie. Upon hearing previews of Under Pressure, Elton reportedly told a journalist privately, "Mercury gains legitimacy from Bowie to appear profound." The comment hurt, given Mercury's genuine admiration for Bowie. Still, amid the competition, Elton supported Mercury through his health struggles. Their later interactions displayed mutual regard, though never complete harmony. The rivalry lingered quietly. In his autobiography, Elton reflected, "Often the fiercest battles are with those you worry could surpass you." With Queen, the resentment was never erased, merely concealed beneath showmanship, hardship, and dignity. Number 4. Oasis. When admiration flipped to outright disdain. The conflict with Oasis erupted suddenly rather than gradually. Elton shifted from casual interest in Britpop to outright adversary after the Gallagher brothers belittled him as outdated piano fare. That remark ignited his response. Elton felt not only offended but undermined by artists he saw as unproven. He later shared with a confidant, "They act like icons without producing enduring work." The pivotal incident was a 1997 gathering at Elton's residence. Liam showed up delayed, Noel intoxicated, and soon Noel proclaimed loudly, "Your tracks suit older listeners and open-top cars." Cool. Elton paused, then replied calmly, "At least my dad didn't endure your complaints for 2 decades." Liam choked in surprise, while Noel grumbled about Elton's irrelevance. The evening concluded with the brothers departing angrily, damaging a valuable door in the process. Matters worsened openly during Oasis's troubled 2000 global tour amid internal disputes. Elton seized the moment on BBC Radio. "True professionalism means delivering for paying supporters, not destroying venues." He targeted their core persona. The peak drama unfolded backstage at the 2000 Brit Awards. As Liam passed with a sarcastic mutter, Elton halted him. "Skill without control is mere sound, dear, and you're Britain's noisiest." Guards intervened as Liam appeared ready to confront physically. Witnesses described it as Elton's nearest brush with an on-stage altercation. No mending of fences followed. Noel occasionally lobs mild insults in media, but Elton ignores them. He confided years later, "Many conflicts fade with maturity, but immaturity defies logic." The resentment stands firm. Number 5, Electric Light Orchestra. The competitor Elton John declined to recognize. Frustration arose the instant Elton heard ELO on air and learned reviewers hailed Jeff Lynne as symphonic rock's next wave. That description provoked him intensely, unknown to most beyond his circle. To Elton, ELO embodied artificial elements in contemporary pop. He complained to a technician in 1975, That's not progress. It's concealing flaws with strings. The height of anger came that year as Evil Woman rose while Island Girl fell. Studio accounts from Caribou Ranch describe Elton forcefully closing the piano cover. He told his group, "Overproduction can mask anything for a chart success." It wasn't mere envy. It was indignation. Elton insisted pop demanded raw honesty and directness. The groups never joined forces deliberately. When a producer floated collaboration late one night, Elton rejected it instantly. "I don't partner with those who cover poor writing with orchestration." Silence followed. Associates noted his unusually harsh dismissal. Comparisons sharpened as writers contrasted Elton's narrative focus with Lynn's complex arrangements. One piece claimed ELO's method signaled pop's direction, infuriating Elton. A colleague recalled him discarding the publication. "If that's ahead, I'll remain where songs truly count." This was a quiet, ongoing, intimate standoff. Lynn seldom replied, yet Elton held firm. Even after decades, he stayed apart, upholding what a friend called perpetual rejection of perceived artistic insincerity. To Elton, ELO symbolized all music must avoid. Now that we've examined the 6 bands Elton John strongly opposed, which rivalry astonished you most? Do you feel his critiques were valid or ego-driven? Share your opinions in the comments. Like the video and subscribe for more revealing music tales.